Ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor of the University of Johannesburg welcomes you to this graduation ceremony. Due to security reasons, you are requested not to leave the auditorium before the end of the proceedings. Please note that photos and videos must be taken from your seats. Please do not get up and walk around inside the auditorium. As soon as the procession leaves the auditorium, you are requested to rise and remain standing until the procession and guests of honor have left the auditorium. A kind yet important request. Please only applaud after the student's name has been read out, and only applaud until the student has been capped, in order to give other graduates the opportunity to have an audible readout of their names. Please also note that no whistles are allowed for applause, only clapping of hands and ululating. You are cordially invited to enjoy refreshments in the foyer after the ceremony. A final request. If you have a cell phone in your possession, please switch it off or put it on silent. Ladies and gentlemen, the procession will now enter the auditorium. You are requested to rise and remain standing until the members of the procession have taken their seats.
Sigitur juvenestum sumus, gaudiamus sigitur juvenestum sumus, post jucundam juventutem, post molestam senectutem, nos habet pitumus, nos habet pitumus. Vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat membrum quod libet, vivat membra quae libet, semper sinti flore, semper sinti flore.
Iliche ketlampa matla ao kefilwecho wona, beale ketea putecho yehoba, Yasimulao University Yad Johannesburg. By virtue of the powers vested in me, I now constitute this meeting as a lawful congregation of the University of Johannesburg. You may be seated.
Stanos enhliziyo wethemba lami helele mafohloza labi wedudu wami, sithandwa sami, lavi wami, mafohloza, dali wami, helele mafohloza, kuba buhlungu inhliziyo, wethemba lami uma ngicabangana nawe, lavi. Wedudu wami, sithandwa sami, lavi wami, mafohloza, dali wami, helele mafohloza, kuba buhlungu inhliziyo, wethemba lami uma ngicabangana nawe, lavi. Wedudu wami, sithandwa sami, lavi wami, mafohloza, dali wami, helele mafohloza, dali lavi sweetie, waze wangiphatha kahle, ulale sifubeni, dali lavi sweetie, waze wangiphatha kahle, ulale sifubeni, helele mama njengengane encane, lavi sweetie, lavi sweetie, wedudu wami, sithandwa sami, lavi wami, mafohloza, dali wami, helele mafohloza, lavi sweetie, lavi sweetie, wedudu wami, sithandwa sami, lavi wami, mafohloza, dali wami, helele mafohloza.
What beautiful voices. Shall we give them another round of applause, please? Chancellor, Executive Dean, Professor Alex Broadbent of the Faculty of Humanities, members of Senate and other academics, graduates and guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Council and the executive management and staff of UJ to welcome our university graduates and their guests to this graduation ceremony. Graduations are both ends and beginnings. The graduation of a student from a university marks the successful completion of a course of study. At the same time, it marks the start of something else. For some, that something else is another degree. For others, it is entrance into the world of work. Whatever the something else may be, the solemn ritual is a time for graduates to celebrate with their families the achievement and attainment of a major milestone in their lives. Of course, a milestone is just a point in a longer journey. It is up to each of us to determine the direction of that journey. At UJ, we seek to support our students in their own greater journeys by helping them to unleash the potential of their own human potential, to unlock their creativity, to make their own unique contributions to innovation in their respective fields of study. The past few years were momentous for higher education in South Africa. Our students brought to the surface real concerns about transformation, an equitable fee structure, and a decolonized education. These critical moments in our history provided us with the opportunity to reflect on our curriculum and teaching practices and begin to develop imaginative, innovative, and creative solutions. Our commitment to access to education is demonstrated by the university's many efforts to provide significant financial aid and other essential support to its most vulnerable students. We are proud of our record and status as one of the most transformed universities in the country. We provide access and, as we'll witness today, consequential success. UJ has grown into a world-class, internationally recognized university with more than 50,000 students registered. Our global stature and academic depth acknowledged by reputable higher education ranking systems in the world. As we move into a significant era of transformation in higher education, UJ continues to build on its successes and to break new ground. UJ is an international university of choice, anchored in Africa, dynamically shaping the future. Our vision is to empower our students to be leaders in the fourth industrial revolution, where technology is entering our workspaces, our homes, and all aspects of our lives. Graduates, you have been groomed for leadership. You are equipped to join the world of work locally and abroad. As you embark on your selected career, we know that you will use your successes and your strengths to make positive contributions to society as a responsible corporate citizen and future leader. As you glow with justified pride in your successes, bear in mind that you have not walked this journey alone. Many of those who have supported or guided you are present here today. Please serve them and your communities with pride. With your UJ qualification, you are joining an elite worldwide UJ alumni community. We encourage you to become an active member of the UJ convocation. By staying actively engaged with UJ, you can make a real contribution to our academic project and to those who will come after you. You have chosen well by starting at UJ. Now is your time to go and make your mark. Thank you. Bye. Chancellor, I now request the Executive Dean, Professor Alex Broadbent of the Faculty of Humanities, to introduce the faculty and thereafter the candidates who have complied with all the requirements for the respective qualifications.
Chancellor, I now have the honor of introducing the Faculty of Humanities. These are times of change, so we are constantly told. The fourth industrial revolution is coming. The fourth industrial revolution is here. Our former students are graduating into a new world of work, and the world you will inhabit, will be different in all kinds of ways to the world we have all inhabited. Should we be excited or terrified by this prospect? I'm not sure I know the answer, but it's my job as a dean to make sure that a pretty large number of students are prepared, ready for the worst-case scenario and able to make the most of the best. The way we do that in humanities is to make our graduates critical thinkers. Critical thinking is a common phrase at the moment. We're all told to be critical thinkers. But a critical thinker won't just accept this. A critical thinker will ask questions. What is a critical thinker? Why will critical thinkers have an edge in the future world? And why does that future world need them? To answer these questions, I'm going to use a real example of someone who I think is a great critical thinker. That's the Hungarian-American billionaire investor, George Soros. Soros is a rich man. As of January 2018, he was worth $8 billion, and he ascribes his success to studying a humanities subject, majoring in philosophy and then doing a master's. His investment strategy is based on the work of Karl Popper, a famous philosopher of science and political philosopher, and it makes use of the concept of reflexivity, which is a well-known idea across many disciplines in the social sciences and humanities, and which many of you graduates will definitely have encountered. Reflexivity is when one critically considers one's own views before accepting ideas that seem obvious or clear. It means admitting mistakes, which Soros himself identifies as key to his success. Does this sound obvious? When you're wrong, admit it? It does. Yet we live in a world where changing one's mind is frowned upon. We criticize leaders who make U-turns, who wobble, who go soft, and so forth. The strength and skills to be reflexive need training, or the world will beat it out of us. And reflexivity is a core idea in everything we do in this faculty. But there's more to Soros than being a rich and clever billionaire, just as there's more to our graduates, I hope, to you, than wanting to be rich and clever. Soros is worth $8 billion, but he's given away $32 billion to philanthropic causes. That's 80% of his wealth. Few other billionaires give away so much in their lifetime. And again, it's his studies that inspired this. He has set up Open Society Foundations, again inspired by Karl Popper, who famously wrote a book called The Open Society and Its Enemies. He supports the struggles of oppressed peoples around the world, and he's directly relevant to us here today, since his very first philanthropic act was to support black students seeking to study at the University of Cape Town in the 1970s. So not everyone likes Soros, and that's fine. I'm not here really to talk about Soros, but to talk about what he stands for. Soros is an example of a critical thinker. That's not just someone who switches on the smarts, switches on their brain when they want to prove someone wrong, or when they have an exam to write, or something like that. To think that is a bit like thinking that someone's a runner just because they sometimes run for a bus. A critical thinker thinks critically and is reflexive. They think critically all the time, and they apply it to everything. Most importantly, a critical thinker evaluates her own beliefs. You, the graduates of today, have probably already forgotten most or even everything of what you learned for your exams. That's the truth of it. I'm aware of that, I know that, but actually it doesn't matter, provided that you yourself have changed. If you have become a critical thinker, then we, my colleagues and I, have done our jobs, and you have done yours. The world of the future is hard to predict. Will there be robot doctors, robot lawyers, or even robot computer programmers? I don't know, but I do know that there won't be robot critical thinkers. The ability to be reflexive is something that artificial intelligence will never be able to capture, I believe, and I do have reasons for that belief. So it is critical thinkers who won't have their jobs taken, who will be able to evaluate their knowledge and skills and adapt to change, and most importantly of all, who will be able to critique and understand the social and political context when the rest of the world is ploughing ahead, dazzled by the bright lights of innovation. Just as Soros was not dazzled by his own wealth and saw fit to support black South African students in the 1970s, we need citizens who will not be carried away by what technology can do, but will pause to think critically about what it should do and what we should do with it. So, critical thinkers will succeed in the new world, but even more importantly, it is critical thinkers who will make that world a better place. And critical thinkers is, I believe, what you, our graduates today, have become. I thank you. Kele bocha, Ngayabonga. Chancellor, I now introduce to you the candidates who complied with all the requirements for the respective qualifications in order for you to confer or award such qualifications.
Ilige ke tlompa matla au ke filweng vona, beale ke tlafa by tuti bao ke ba tebititweho, ke motikoni hotile by tuti bao ba sehona di kalacheo di ba lebaneho. Bona bao ba fitlelechi dinyakwa ka mokata di kala. By virtue of the powers vested in me, I will now confer and award the respective qualifications on the candidates introduced to me by the Executive Dean and to the candidates who are absent but who have complied with all of the requirements of the qualifications.